Hello, and welcome to Stasis Pod, the Beast Wars podcast. I'm Rob.
I'm Jen.
I'm Alex.
And I'm David.
And today we are going with the flowing.
Oh, why?
Because today's episode is Go with the Flow.
Okay.
And there's no earthly way of knowing.
And this is, yes, another Bob Forward episode.
So, is this going to be a, really super good important episode, or is this going to be fart jokes?
I'll take what's behind door number 2.
Oh.
It's closer to fart jokes, but not all the way at fart joke.
I mean, it's kind of closer to, it seems like a leftover episode from another season.
Or from the Mario Brothers Super Show.
Yes.
Yeah.
Leftover from He-Man.
Yes. I mean, the basic plot is Megatron is building a giant cannon, but the radiation involved is harmful to Transformers, so he needs a human, or proto-human in this case, to build it. You could have basically made this episode in 1985 with the other Megatron and, Spike.
Yeah. Also, this season, Megatron and his, crazy mad scientist machines are just really... It's his thing this season.
I mean,
Yeah.
Tarantulas is hanging out at the base again, so he's really rubbing off on Megatron. He's a bad influence.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's Megatron did some things in the earlier seasons, but this season seems to be building giant mad science things, not just a little floating gun emplacement or something.
Yes.
It's like the other stuff that survived on the Golden Disc, other than the Megatron recording, was all of Megatron's archived. Well, we don't have the tech to do this now, but someday, mad science plans.
Rainy day mad science plans.
After we've made our giant purple griffin, we're going to move on to this weird spider thing.
It's kind of a Mass Effect mass relay.
Yeah. There is...
Sure.
We're going to get this later, but there is a cool effect when it fires.
Oh,
Yeah.
But yeah, this is... there are a couple episodes of Generation 1 where Megatron's big plot is building a giant cannon.
That's accurate. That's fair.
So there's fire on the mountain.
That's accurate and fair about any 80s cartoon.
Also true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Masquerade, I think the one where they have to...
Where they have to turn into disguise themselves as the Stunticons.
Yes, I think... Is there a giant cannon in Bot, too?
No, I think it's really just about trying to get the Combaticons back in one piece.
But there's definitely a device at the end, because that device has a button marked overload on it.
Yeah. There's also a
There is
change in
some
gears.
kind of evil device in that episode. An evil device that is not the titular bot.
An evil device. I thought the evil device was just Brawl's brain or something.
I mean, I think the evil device is that episode,
Well, yeah.
which was successfully deployed on the children of America.
It's not a great episode.
It's the worst.
Alright, so...
Anyway, speaking of small annoying children, 8
Yep.
babies.
Cheetor is sneaking through the undergrowth in beast mode, but it's a fake out because he is actually messing around with the proto-humans, and once again we are back in Donkey Kong country here.
Yeah.
Did they actually get names in their first episode?
They did not, but
No.
now we know the girl is Una and the boy is Chak.
Yes.
Yay. We also get electrical flickering from a cave and a reveal of flashlight bots.
And they get a name in this episode. Rattrap calls them arachnoids.
I guess they've got 6 legs, but I guess they do have some sort of forward limbs that could count as the 8th limb.
Yeah.
Rattrap also treats them less like, oh, Tarantulas is around here, this is important, and more as a sign of, oh, there are vermin here, I can squash them.
Yeah, you gotta spray.
Well, it's possible that Tarantulas made so many that they're just wandering around carrying out their programming unaware that whatever
they could
created
They
for
could be
is
assuming they're
something.
leftovers from previous bases they've destroyed. They're just out there and about.
Mm-hmm.
It's not unreasonable.
Although that also must mean they're biodegradable. Otherwise, if there were that many, we would have found them and reverse engineered them by now.
Yes.
They break down.
They just very carefully picked up all of them.
Yes.
They rust really quickly, who knows. But, I forget
Either
which...
that or maybe Sector 7 got them.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
John Turturro's just got a big box of them in his office.
Ooh.
The little proto-humans.
Uh-huh.
One of them, I forget which one, says the very first recorded human speech word, and it's Cheetor.
Can we mark that off as Cheetor doing something stupid today?
Yes. Epically stupid.
Maybe destroying time here, Cheetor.
Good
Taught
job.
them some words, but the first one we hear is Cheetor because they don't seem to be able to form sentences, but they're good with nouns.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're picking up on nouns.
And Cheetor defends them as smart when Rattrap is skeptical of their intelligence, but...
Aw, well, he's Cheetor.
And
yeah, so it doesn't mean that much coming from him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Rattrap is all W.C. Fields with these kids.
Yes.
Meanwhile, Cheetor's got, like, a chalkboard set up, and he's, like, teaching them, I don't know, Cybertronian text or something.
No,
And he's also teaching them
He's
simple
a lesson on
machines.
basic simple machines, yeah.
Because, this suddenly
Well, that
turned into
too.
an episode of Crow.
I was going to say Cheetor and I, the science guy.
Well, I think he's more like, it's more like Beekman's World, because he's got
Yeah.
a giant rat trap, he's got a giant rat sidekick.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And he's kind of ridiculous. Whereas, at least Bill Nye was respectable.
Oh, yeah.
I've never actually seen Beekman's World.
Oh, man.
I think I saw a couple episodes. I didn't really like it because it had a giant rat, and rats are kind of disgusting. Anyway, speaking of Rattrap's entrance is pretty good because he refers to Optimus Primal as Pop Op, and then he proceeds to sit on a log by way of the Riker maneuver.
Can never go wrong with the Riker maneuver.
Nope.
Well, you can if the back of the chair you're trying to sit in is too high.
I guess
Yes.
It was a log, so there was no back of the chair. He just swings his leg.
he successfully used the Riker maneuver.
Yeah, so he teaches these kids what a lever is, and then he tries to teach them about pulleys, but his pulley breaks and falls on his foot, and he comically hops around, which I
And
don't think was supposed to be part of the lesson.
They do learn the most important lesson of all, which is Cheetor hurting himself is hilarious.
This is true.
It is the universal language.
Meanwhile, inside a mountain, evil science is happening.
Quick Strike
Yes.
still exists. Quick Strike is there.
Yes, once again, doing the grunt work.
Well, yeah. Make the littlest guy carry things around.
Well,
I mean, he's the one who's working on the barrel of the gun, because if it actually goes off, if it accidentally goes off, well, we just have to get a new quick strike.
Yeah, the rest of the Predacons are assembling bits of a machine, and in my head is like that old Warner Brothers factory music. Dun, dun, dun,
Dun 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 dun
Yeah.
dun 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 dun.
You think they'd want to use Waspinator in that position rather than Quick Strike, because they have spare Waspinator.
Well, that's true.
it's true.
Yeah, so it's a giant cannon. They're gonna fire it at the Ark, because even though the Ark is protected by Teletran 1, they can fire this, which will destroy the Maximals, and thus they can destroy the Ark at their leisure.
Yes. Basically, the Maximals part is not as well guarded as the Ark, so.
But unfortunately, due to this bipolar energon source,
Which, what?
Sure.
I mean, we see there 2 chunks of energon, so I guess that's the bipolar as opposed to the energon source that just can't get out of bed sometimes.
Yes, but it's calling it bipolar energon is weird unless it's like alternating between polarities. It's just basic mad science, which is
I mean,
Is
entertaining.
Energon normally DC and this is their rare AC form?
I guess so.
Maybe.
Oh, well, shouldn't they test it out on an elephant first?
Unfortunately, Ironhide isn't on the show.
It's a shame this isn't Beast Wars 2nd.
Yes. This thing is a disruptor cannon, by the way. And so anyway,
Sure
this thing keeps leaking crazy energy, and that is damaging to all Transformers, so they can't finish this thing. So therefore Tarantulas, who is now just palling around with Megatron, He suggests, we need some humans, and thanks to his flashlight bugs, there's some that have some book learning. So we'll take those ones.
See, Cheetor has extra failed this time because he's actually made things easier for the Predacons.
Yeah, he's turned them into targets. Although, to be fair, Tarantula's kidnapping children is probably the least creepy plot he's had.
This is true.
Well, that's just phase 1.
Yeah, we're going to see phase 2 later in this episode, and it's unpleasant.
Yeah. But of course he doesn't kidnap them, they send the flyers to do the dirty work.
Yes, and they successfully do. Cheetor is pretty ineffectual.
Yeah, that's a blanket statement.
And even when Tuxedo Manta shows up,
yeah.
I assume he throws like a fish that embeds itself in the ground.
Yeah, it's another rare moment of Waspinator actually being completely competent. He manages to kidnap Una.
Yes.
Also,
while nobody is looking.
When he shows up, what he actually does, what he actually throws is his pizzas. So his power pizzas.
Well, it's not so much throwing as he spits them out. There's actually a mouth animation of him spitting them individually.
Yes, he's spitting them from his manta mouth at everyone.
It's kind of gross.
It's a thing. His manta mouth is so weird.
Yeah.
It's as weird as his robot mode mouth.
Yeah.
But wider and more prominent.
Yes.
It's not great.
No. So yeah, they take off with Una.
I will note that Una is still, once again, Susan Blue.
Yes.
Yay.
And Cheetor gets called home to get repaired, and Depth Charge, despite wanting to get out of Dodge, gets press-ganged by Rattrap into helping them out for once.
Yeah, he forces him to be his rides by saying, "You gonna talk or you gonna rock?"
Yes.
Also grabs onto Depth Charge in just the weirdest way possible.
In his manta mouth parts, which that's gotta hurt.
His little football feelers.
It's gotta hurt, and you can't really get that great of a grip on that.
Oh.
And also, you could have grabbed both of them and had it be less painful and better grip.
Yeah.
Yes.
There are a lot of reasons why it is not ideal.
Mm. Anyway, en route to Giant Cannon Mountain, Una is remembering that Cheetor did teach him a little self-defense, and part of that was to attack a transformer at the joints. And so, she's got a little prison shiv here.
Yeah, it's a little tool that Cheetor made for her by tying a stick to a rock.
And note that nothing comes of this, but she's doing this while they're in midair.
Yeah, she is just hacking his bug legs off, and they're coming apart.
The bug legs that he's using to hold on to her.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, he's got 6, and she managed to chop off like 2.5.
Well, and he even kind of has to roll over, so she's sort of riding him more.
Yes, toward the end.
Yep. And Waspinator calls into Megatron to panic about that, and Megatron just says that, "Oh, yeah, that's normal."
Yeah, because
you getting dismembered is normal.
He says,
"Yep."
Megatron wonders, "Is there a problem?" And Waspinator's like, "No, she is injuring Waspinator. I'm not injuring her." And it's like, the situation is normal then. Yeah. Waspinator wants to renegotiate contract.
Aww.
I mean, Scott McNeil may want to renegotiate his. He's half the characters in this episode.
Why would he want to renegotiate that? He got 4 paychecks.
That's
true.
He's doing pretty good for him.
Also, Waspinator refers to Una as Fleshbot, which in the year 2016 has worse implications than it did in 1999.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a website. Nobody Google that.
I didn't.
Just don't. It's for the best.
Let's just focus on Waspinator being adorable and torn apart.
Yeah, so he gets back, he drops her off safe and sound, and then immediately collapses.
He transforms, salutes, and just falls to pieces.
Poor guy.
And once again probably has to put himself back together because nobody else is going to do it.
Nobody else is doing that. They're all busy building this giant cannon.
He's got to drag himself off to the CR chamber.
Which is nowhere near here, apparently.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Yeah. So now that she's there with the Maximals in hot pursuit, Megatron orders a test firing, which Tarantulas is not so sure about, but they do anyway. And so it kind of produces like a jagged energy beam.
Super cool looking.
It looks super cool.
Also, Tarantulas gets to be really super Tarantulas while he's protesting this. It's just like this great, just very close-up headshot of him. Like, the whole thing could blow!
Making a bunch of Tarantulas noises.
Yes, he's very... that's like Alec Willow's... He's got like 5 lines in this, and he's gonna make them all count.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he earns his paycheck on this one.
He's not gonna let Scott McNeil show him up.
No.
Yeah, the bipolar energy beam kind of reminded me of like Darkseid's eye beams.
Yeah, it is kind of like the Omega effect.
Yeah, they go forward and just zigzag, and it's neat.
Yes. And so they have to shut it down before it can destroy them, but it does zap the Maximals enough that they crash.
Depth Charge crash lands so hard he transforms in the process.
Yes.
That's like in More Than Meets the Eye when they all have to jump up and down on top of Ultra Magnus to get him to transform.
Yeah, because the beam hits him and he says that like he was out of fuel, so they have to crash land, but Rattrap's complaining, why can't you glide down? Which might be possible if he converted fully to Manta form instead of his spaceship form. He could have glided.
I mean, that is dubious because, that Manta mode is giant and made of metal.
Well, yes, but it's a little bit more surface area. Might have been able to control the landing instead of getting embedded into a giant tree. And just smoke billowing out of them. And when they first cut to Rattrap and him on the ground, there's a little puff that comes out of Rattrap's ass.
Yes.
Just a little fart.
It's one of those Bob Forward episodes.
Well, it's a nice, subtle, you blink and you miss it gag, though.
The dynamic between Rattrap and Depth Charge is really nice, too.
It is sort of similar to the Rattrap Dinobot dynamic.
Aw, I missed that dynamic.
Yeah. Only, like, Depth Charge isn't having any of it, but Rattrap keeps getting the upper hand.
And Rattrap doesn't have any genuine menace toward Depth Charge.
No.
He just doesn't like him.
I don't even think he doesn't like him. I think he just, needling him.
Yeah.
And Depth Charge is legitimately a pain in the ass.
Yeah. I ain't dead. Well, this day is full of disappointments.
Depth Charge is so mean, he even hates the proverbial butterfly.
Yeah, so Rattrap takes off without Depth Charge, who is immobile. So, yeah, the metaphorical butterfly lands on Depth Charge's chest, and he's all, "What are you looking at?"
And thus, miraculously, the metaphorical butterfly has survived 2 members of the Maximal team that probably wanted to kill it.
Yes.
Jerks.
Alright, so, meanwhile, back at this cannon, Megatron is somewhat unsuccessfully trying to tell Una how to build this shielding.
Somewhat unsuccessfully? His instructions are very mediocre at electrical engineering, but somehow she manages to put all the plating on the back of the giant gun.
Yeah.
Megatron reminds me of why I don't want to have kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like, put it there. No, not on your head. Put it on the wall with the wrench.
Use the
That's
wrench.
not a wrench. It's a bone.
The wrench. Pick up the wrench. The wrench. Yes, that. Turn.
Like
turn
when I'm doing tech support.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that kind of worked. You hammered the nuts down. Fine. It's there. Try the next one.
It is excellent voice acting from David Kay.
Great.
I feel like you could sum up this episode and perhaps this entire series as Megatron would have been successful if he'd obeyed the old Hollywood axiom, never work with animals or children.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, he is an animal.
Yes.
He's a dinosaur.
It's like, if he doesn't work with animals or children, he doesn't work with anyone.
His whole team is animals.
Although he might have been better off without most of them.
Yeah.
I have a note here, and I'm trying to remember what the context was, but in chronological order, it's the right place for it. Tarantulas is uncharacteristically genre unsavvy.
Yes. Yeah.
He doesn't know that the machine is gonna... He's just all about his machine at this point.
Yes.
Oh, right. That's after the machine is fixed enough and Una has plugged in all the parts and put in the little magical, what's his chip?
Yes. Although inexplicably, she also came with a bone from somewhere.
Maybe it was in the cave.
Yeah.
Like maybe
Do proto-humans have access to hammer space? Because she pulled that tool Cheetor gave her out of nowhere, too.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's either that or Tarantulas ate something before she got in here.
That is entirely possible, and it's at this point that, like, Megatron says he doesn't need her anymore, so Tarantulas deal with her.
Oh, and he's making all sorts of tarantulas noises and doing things with his hands.
As he's menacingly walking toward this little proto-human who's standing up on a platform in front of a giant, well, it kind of looks like an building air conditioner.
It looks like an air conditioner.
Yeah.
I believe they said it was like a air conduit or something like that.
Yeah.
Or that was part of the insulation. It had to do with the little chip that Megatron had her put in.
Mm.
But she uses lever to lever it over onto Tarantulas, which is probably the point where you were saying he's genre unsavvy. You're gonna get squished to get Tarantulas.
No, it was before that. It was also before Rattrap showing up.
Oh.
As Rattrap shows up, gets the drop
right,
on Megatron, and then chooses to wisecrack instead of open fire.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
And so, of course, he gets
Dinobot
gunshot
kicks
in
your
his
ass.
hands.
Yeah, good job.
And then also Dinobot 2 is after him.
Yep.
Seems like it should have lots of feels and baggage, but, we won't go there.
We will get to...
We will go there later in this episode.
Yeah.
Or rather, not this episode, but the episode that it almost was.
Oh, yeah.
Ha! Dun dun dun.
And now for a commercial break, Una falls off a platform.
Yes.
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 Una's still
Rare
falling off a
cliff
platform.
faller.
Yes. Falling right
And then
into the camera with her creepy monkey face screaming.
Yeah, with her just weird bug eyes that don't have nearly enough pixels. It's not great.
Come back from commercial.
Polygon.
Rattrap catches her.
Yes, he catches her to the tune of Silverbolt's heroic horn music.
He earned Silverbolt's heroic horn music.
Yes.
I guess,
That
but is that the first time someone else has used that theme?
I think so.
Maybe.
I'm trying to remember if it ever showed up before Silverbolt did.
I think it's definitely new to Silverbolt.
So yeah, Rattrap just gets out of dodge.
Yep, he catches her, they take off, they get back to Depth Charge. Once again, Una gets Depth Charge out of the kind of hole that he's in with a lever.
Yep. And then they surf down the hill.
Yeah, they slide him into the water, and it's time for them to go with the flow.
Yeah, it's
Yay.
Una Sawyer and Huckleberry Rat just floating down the river.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
Depth Charge still has no power, but they do have paddles.
Yeah.
Yep. He's got his tail, and she's got a stick.
Wait, who is it that says where they are? Is it Dinobot 2 that says they're in Grid Tuna?
Juna, I believe, who
Oh.
was a person on ATT, I think.
Okay, I
Yes.
just heard Grid Tuna, and it's like, wait, is he gonna eat Depth Charge?
I mean, he probably would.
Yeah.
That would be funny, though, if they had a grid tuna that they mentioned.
But no, I think, Jen, you can probably explain to us who Juna is?
The name is familiar. I can confirm that it is an ATT person, but currently slips my mind as to any significant
Yeah, the episode,
details.
the notes on the wiki say Juna I Palast, who's Finnish.
Oh, yeah.
And actually that same fan is involved with the sordid tale we will relate later.
Oh, okay.
So it's appropriate.
Yeah.
So yeah, they get him into the water. Thanks again to more educational content. Waspinator gets a face full of mud, crashes into Inferno, and they land on Dinobot.
Yeah. Oh, and
But
there's
unfortunately, it is. Oh, sorry.
there's a proverbial not proverbial. We're back to the waterfalls. Of course,
Yes.
you're down the
Yeah,
river.
there's
There's going to
of
be a
course a
waterfall. The effect on the waterfall it's really good, but it's also really weird, and that it almost looks like it's hand drawn, like the way the edges
Yeah.
ruffle. It's really, really well done, and I can't exactly figure out how they did it.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
I'm trying to go back here now to... Well, we did see they actually have some ability to do water simulation with that reflection of Black Arachnia's face in the water in the previous episode.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
right.
And while this is white water, so they don't have to make it reflective, they still do have the ability to make it ripple like that.
Yeah, just the ripples and the spikes in it, just, like, at least for a few frames, it really looked like it had been hand-drawn, and it looked great.
Yeah, they have finally gone well past the minimum acceptable level of water depiction in this show and gotten to the point where, yeah, you can defend that as a stylistic choice.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, surprise waterfall, but they get out of it and take out the Predacons, but unfortunately this cannon is now ready to fire.
Quick Strike has a line!
Yes.
It's a completely throwaway line that really anybody could say. I don't even remember what it was. I didn't note it. It's just
but the important thing is Quick Strike says it.
Yeah.
Yes, the important thing is his voice actor gets a paycheck.
Yes.
Yay. And as the beam is going off, Rattrap, in the darkest part of the episode...
Oh yeah, this is great.
Tells Una that she'd better bail because the ray won't hurt you, but our exploding bodies might.
Yeah, that is legitimately... That's a legitimately upsetting little line there.
Yeah.
Don't mind our exploding corpses.
Don't get hit by the shrapnel when our bodies all explode and we die.
Yes.
Yeah, because previously when the machine was fired the first time, like, it shoots out, like, leftover energy at any of the Predacons that were in the base, which is why they needed the shielding. Even with the shielding that Una had put on, it still backfires a little bit, electrocutes Megatron and everybody else in the base, but it went through Una and all it did was tickle her.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
luckily, there's no way that's OSHA compliant.
Oh man, it's like Rebirth all over again.
The plasma energy chamber. Stay tuned for that one, kids.
Yeah. We'll get to that.
But anyway, luckily for the Maximals and, the future of humanity, this kid's a bit of a klepto.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because that stabilizing crystal, she stole it.
Yes.
Well, it's a shiny thing.
Very shiny.
It's very shiny.
Yeah,
like,
a shiny thing.
My notes right here are, the hair clip is invented, comma, the Predacons explode.
Yes, she puts it in her hair.
Yeah. Where was she keeping it until now?
Well, she does have the little skirt. It makes more sense she could have tucked that in her skirt as opposed to the bone or the bludgeoning tool.
True.
Yeah, and it's smaller.
And also, back in the sequence where she was supposed to be putting it in, she clearly did not actually put it into the thing.
No, that is a...
That's a really good shot, because we see her arm moving, but then when it comes back to Megatron, and then it goes back to her, and when she's closing the lid on the top of it, you see it's definitely not there.
Mm-hmm.
But Megatron doesn't get to see that angle.
Yes.
No. Instead, Megatron is treated to this really cool POV shot of electrical feedback traveling along a wire.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, Megatron, I think in this entire episode, he spends in this chair that's on a giant gimbal arm, like swinging him around their little cave base where they built the gun. He doesn't touch the ground once.
No.
Although maybe it's built out of leftovers from the chair he had in the Jiffy Pump.
Maybe.
This is possible.
Because that was
He's like, I like that chair.
Yeah. Oh.
Maybe he just missed the chair and wanted to recreate it, yeah.
Oh yeah, and I guess it's kind of like the chair he has back at the dark side. He likes to sit in chairs that suspend him in the air where he doesn't have to touch the ground.
Yeah.
Yes, he's too good for that.
And then our protagonists get to jump from an explosion in slow motion.
Yep. It's eerily predating the involvement of Michael Bay in this franchise.
Yeah, it's happened like at least half a dozen times. Usually to the Maximals, I think. I think this is like the fourth time Rattrap's done it.
Yeah. And now it's just time for them to sail off into the sunset, but of course, Rattrap gets one last wisecrack in and gets smacked in the head by Depth Charge's tail.
He also holds Depth Charge at gunpoint.
Also that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, lesson of the episode,
See,
Megatron shouldn't have used non-union labor.
Yes. And also stealing is good.
Yes. There was one thing that I forgot to mention when we were at that point. But when Cheetor is trying to teach the kids, at one point when, he's standing there and Chalk sees, like, Waspinator in the air behind Cheetor and he starts, like, making shooting noises with his gun. And Cheetor makes some comment about how we're trying to stick with positive programming here. Like, wait a minute. Is this a critique of violent children's programs? Not violent children's programs?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Are we going there? Apparently we're going there.
I mean, this is a little edutainment-y with all the lever talk.
Yeah.
It's true.
Oh,
It's true.
and Una also turns around and uses the nice non-violent tool Cheetor made her to stab someone's limbs off.
Yes.
Well, when they're in that situation, it can be important.
Self-defense with levers, it's important.
And so if this episode seems, a little basic, a little sort of by the numbers, it might be because they kind of had to come up with it in a hurry.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because this episode was not initially planned to be in season 3. As prior to this, the episode Dark Glass had been written by Christy Marks, who also wrote Transmutate, and wrote a whole lot of Gem and the Holograms.
I would like to note that Dark Glass is one of those pair of words that anyone around in the fandom during Beast Wars, just immediately you start rolling your eyes and going, oh no, not this. There was so much talk about it, so much BS going back and forth, so many people claiming to know things they didn't know, and people just, it was ridiculous. It became one of those things where as soon as it comes up, you're just like,
more of
this again?
Yeah.
So, but
what
that
is this
aside,
again? Because I have no idea what this is.
about the Dark Glass.
Okay, so in 1999, Transformers fan Juna Palast posted to All Toys Transformers a brief summary of the plot, which had apparently been related to him by Larry DiTillio, and it was about
We have mentioned Larry DiTillio's relationship to the truth, but
man loves a good yarn.
I will let that slide here because some of it doesn't.
I'm willing to believe this because it does seem weird that he would come up with this out of nowhere, and this episode title did show up in early episode lists.
Yes, also it was corroborated by other people.
Right.
So, as opposed to the whole thing about Transmetal 2 Sparks being some kind of virtual pet thing, and that's why they bought Tiger Electronics.
Yes.
Anyway, I will let you continue.
Yeah, so Rattrap salvaged some of the Axelon's computers, and it had Dinobot's core consciousness on it. Because remember, there's a bit in Bad Spark that's never followed up on, where Dinobot uploads something into the Maximal computers. And so Rattrap, wants to upload this into Dinobot 2. And Rhinox tells him that, this isn't going to work because the core consciousness is just like, person's memories and everything. It's not their spark. It's not their soul. Mm-hmm. And so it might just give, the new Dinobot all of, a bunch of confidential knowledge about the Maximals, which would be bad. But Rattrap, really wants to bring his friend back. And so he does this, and he installs this core consciousness into Dinobot 2. And so he's kind of back. But he has to constantly struggle for control with the new Dinobot. And so he tries to, Dinobot 1 knows that he's not going to make it. So he tries to infiltrate the Predacons and then take out Megatron. But it doesn't work, and Dinobot 2 regains control of his body. And so Rattrap accepts that Dinobot 1 is truly dead, and that he just has to honor his memory.
Oh, that's kind of weird.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that as an episode, but apparently Claster, the series distributor, had rejected the episode because the story didn't have enough action.
Yeah, I mean, it's a kids show, and it needs to have people punching in it.
Yes.
Instead of the boring parts of Star Trek 3, The Search for Spock.
Yes.
Yeah.
Earth is planet forbidden, allowed is not.
It would have been really nice to have some more emotional conclusion on this and explanation of something to come down the line. Spoilers.
Really
Yes.
more? I mean, Dinobot had such a good send-off. Bringing him back, even as a tease, would have been kind of annoying, I'd think.
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, I don't even know they needed it to succeed, but the idea of seeing Rattrap dealing with that somewhere would have been a
Rattrap
nice
dealing with it,
episode
but
of
actually uploading it and it sort of working to bring back Dinobot 1, when we already have Dinobot 2 who's annoyingly close enough to Dinobot 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I think something dealing with the whole, I guess, loss process. I mean, again, I'm going to bring up More Than Meets the Eye again, but I think that one of the things that's really been revolutionary about in Transformers stories is having characters show those emotional bonds. But on the other hand, More Than Meets the Eye is a comic book that is clearly accepts that it's pitched to an older audience, whereas this is a kid's action cartoon.
Yeah.
Yes.
It may aspire to greatness, but ultimately it's still got to follow those rules, and sometimes those rules are no touchy-feely moments.
Yes.
It doesn't think kids are idiots, but it is realistic about kids' attention span and interests.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
But there is another twist to this tale. Enter Dennis Barger.
Oh my god. I'm looking at that quote of his on the wiki page about it, and I remember it. I had, forgotten it, but I remember it now, and I just roll my eyes, and I'm like, oh no, this again.
Alright, so Dennis Barger, he's a toy dealer, comics dealer. He ran BotCon 1996.
Yeah.
Which was a bit of a fiasco.
He was someone who was obviously very... This is sort of a divide that you get in the fandom sometimes, and especially in the earlier days. And it's a divide that people do not necessarily need to fall on one side of or the other, but some people do. And that divide is the divide between an interest in the fiction and an interest in the toys. Like I said, most people are sort of in between, but you have people who go a lot more towards one or the other, and Dennis Barger is very much a toy person. And he ran his convention as someone who was very much a toy person. The stuff having to do with any of the fan community stuff, the stuff having to do with, I was on a panel at one point. There was a fan media panel, and at the time I had a fanzine, and Tony Prito, who was at a table, running his dealer table right near where the panels were basically held in, the other half of the ballroom.
Oh.
So half of the ballroom was all the dealer tables, and the other half was the panel room. And he had his table on the corner there, and we couldn't find Dennis Barger to actually come up and introduce our panel like he was supposed to, so Tony just came up and introduced our panel. There was a big event that was supposed to be showing Transformers the movie, and this was a point where it was pretty much out of print, so that was a pretty big deal, and it did not go well. I know there was a point where basically a lot of us just made our own evening activities by dragging a TV, up on one of those big stands, you would remember from, your high school classes if you were in school in the 90s.
Sure.
Wait, a giant CRTV on a cart?
Yeah. Just on a cart with a VCR, and I personally pulled out a VHS tape I had that had a handful of Japanese Headmasters episode, one shining, miraculous, dubbed Headmasters episode, which is the now legendary Life Can Be Sacrificed for Peace on Earth, and a handful of English dubbed Victory episodes, and everybody watched that. Somebody brought out another VHS tape that had a bunch of I don't think it was full episodes of Brave shows, but a lot of trailers and stuff. He wasn't real interested in running anything but the toy side of the convention. The next year in 97, he really wanted to run it again. And actually 96 had been so bad that 97 was the year that basically BotCon had to grow up. It had to be good enough to prove to Hasbro that it could be an officially sanctioned event and not be something they should probably think about shutting down. And that was a lot of why Glenn Hallett brought in Vince to call it. That 97 was the year that I like to call it the first year we had real guests. And the first year panels were not like me. And that was in part because of how badly Dennis Barger ran BotCon 96, and because he decided he wanted to run something in 97, but the Hartmans wouldn't let him run BotCon, so he decided to run his own thing into the ground. And that ties in a little bit with what he did involving Dark Glass, because that was something that he was going to do to tie into one of his, I guess, TransCon 3, which these days with a little more visibility for certain communities would probably be taken as something very different.
Well, I can't entirely fault that as a convention name, because I went to a few conventions in Chicago called G-Con, until we found out that there actually was a gay and lesbian convention called G-Con. So the Godzilla convention got its name changed to G-Fest.
Yeah, I mean,
so mistakes happen.
Back in those days, there was less visibility for these things.
Yes.
So yeah. So that ties into our story here, which is when he decided he wanted to try to appeal to the fiction side of the fandom. Rob, if you want to continue
so
here.
I guess acquired a copy of the script from Dark Glass from Christy Marks, and then he planned to auction off the original for charity, and then distribute reproductions to all attendees. And this convention was supposed to happen in September of '98, whereas season 3 would not premiere until the following month. So these people would be given spoilers for, most of season 3.
Oh.
But he was going to have all the attendees, which sounds like a big deal, but it's not quite this bad, but my knee-jerk asshole reaction is to say both the attendees. But yes, he wanted to have all of them sign non-disclosure agreements so that there wouldn't be spoilers just tossed about on the interwebs.
Yes. So but apparently he didn't bother or couldn't get the proper approvals from Hasbro and or Mainframe, and the whole thing just didn't happen. So the script went back to Christy Marks, and because of this whole fiasco, Mainframe decided that they were never going to release their scripts to the public again. And so, for instance, you can find the scripts for the Season 1 and 2 Beast Wars episodes on Ben Yee's website. You could then, and presumably they're still there. But they never put up the ones for Season 3 or for Beast Machines due to this whole incident.
The quote, I want to read this quote from Dennis Barger, something he posted to Alt Toys Transformers in August 31st, 1998, that is on the wiki. It says, "Now if I get 1,000 different emails saying that this script should not be given out because a few paranoid fans don't want their lives unraveled, then I will burn it and never talk about it again and tell Christy you think her work is trash and she should stop writing professionally." This is a professional man here.
Dennis Barger is not a man blessed with what we like to call tact.
What?
No.
Not everyone is cut out to run a convention. Like, it's only certain few are good enough to do it multiple times without being mad or going mad.
I mean, there are two kinds of people. There is one kind of person who will put out a cake to celebrate the 10th anniversary of Transformers the movie, and there's another class of person who will put out that cake and also give people forks. Dennis Barger is the first kind of person.
Yes.
So good ideas without all the planning.
The big movie event was that there was a cake, but there were not actually forks.
Oh man, that's
Dennis Barger makes Brian Savage look like a Hartman.
Yeah. These are the days.
I mean, say we will, but that man is giving you forks with your cake.
Yeah, well, forks with your seafood, Louis.
Yeah.
And also, we didn't even mention that BotCon 1996 was inexplicably Pulp Fiction themed.
Yeah, because he just really liked Pulp Fiction. Because he thought it was super cool.
It was the 90s, I guess.
It wasn't that cool then. It was reaching.
Yeah.
I mean, I enjoy that movie, but...
Well, to be perfectly honest, wasn't one of the more recent BotCons actually Guardians of the Galaxy themed because they liked the movie? Well, in a way, in that there was it was the one with the what do you call it, the Axiom Nexus thing where they
like Cybertron's Most Wanted or whatever.
Yeah, where Trent and Cypher had written most of a story or the beginning of a story, and then they changed it to a prison break or something, and they wanted their names taken off of it.
Yeah, they weren't thrilled.
Yeah, so making a BotCon movie themed, it's gonna happen again.
I would like to note that the wiki page on BotCon 96 is excellent. And I still have the T-shirt from it with that really, really crappy program art.
Uma Thurman RC.
In gold ink. Not even well drawn.
Oh, I
Thurman.
have seen
like,
that.
If you're thinking of like a good drawing of RC in that Uma Thurman pose from the Pulp Fiction posters, don't think that. It's Dennis Barger probably drew this himself. It's not good.
I could poop out better.
Oh no, it says here art by Robert Bowman.
Oh yeah, probably for free.
Wait, Rob Bowman? That sounds familiar. Oh, he directed that X-Files movie. It's probably a different Rob Bowman.
Wait, was it the first X-Files movie or the second one?
No, he directed the first one, X-Files Fight the Future. He also directed Reign of Fire, which is about Christian Bale and Matthew McConaughey versus dragons.
Okay, so I guess that makes up for the X-Files movie. I mean, Reign of Fire is not a great
because
movie.
his next movie was Elektra.
Oh, yeah, so he doesn't even get a pass for that.
I may have taken a date to at one point.
Oh.
The schedule does mention the Saturday fanzine panel, which I was on, and there's a picture of me floating around out there looking extremely pale, wearing a great purple hat.
We got an episode that could have been interesting, but seems like it maybe had a fatal flaw.
Yeah.
And instead we got an episode that was fun.
Yeah.
I think it's an episode that probably could have been made as part of the series if it was made today.
Yeah.
I think that kind of cartoon show, I mean, for one thing, we don't really have syndication the way they used to.
No.
Plaster was concerned about syndicating this to, the people, Channel 50 in DC in my case, who
Star 64.
Want to load up a block of TV with kids shows because Reagan said those count as educational programming.
Much as ketchup counts as a vegetable.
Yeah. And so I think that given the current environment, like an episode with this sort of depth and lack of punching would not necessarily be out of place in Transformers Prime.
Yeah.
But I think at that time there was still a very different... The idea of what that kind of show should be had not matured to the way it has now.
No.
Then again, the fact that Prime had those kind of episodes was why they felt a need to sort of backtrack a little bit to Robots in Disguise.
Yeah.
Because they decided that was a little too much.
Yeah. It's skewing a little too old. We want to sell some toys. We want everybody to have some fun here.
Yeah.
We want to resell different decos of the exact same toys, and it results in a badly written episode by a good writer, and we have a lost episode that's gone, but I was so angry.
When good writers write bad episodes.
Yeah. It happens. Sometimes it just doesn't work out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, this episode, it accomplishes what it meant to do.
Yeah.
It would maybe not feel so out of place if it had been a 26-episode season and not a 13-episode season.
Yes,
yeah.
That is a big thing. I mean, there were all sorts of goofy episodes like this in the first season, and that was fine because they had more episodes than they knew what to do with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this wasn't as goofy as, like, the second part of Feral Scream.
No.
But it did have about as much of the same amount of Cheetor being an idiot.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
We are back to Cheetor being an idiot as a plot focus.
Yes. And, I think that should about do it for Go With The Flow and or Dark Glass.
Yeah.
So, until next time, you can find us all over the internet. We are on Tumblr at stasispod.tumblr.com. We're on Facebook at facebook.com/stasispod. And we're on Twitter at @stasispod.
And our RSS feed is hosted on iaconunderground.net.
And you can also find us on iTunes, and coming soon, probably by the time you hear this episode, we'll be on Google Play.
Yes, assuming that your Google Play actually shows the podcast option, which mine does not yet, and it makes me very sad because I am completely enslaved by everything Google, and they should give me things in return.
I mean, I generally am, but I'm totally on board with Pocket Casts for all my podcasting needs.
True. I like Pocket Casts, and you can find us on there just through a simple search.
I just like MP3s. I don't use them.
Well, that's because you are You're like one step above Chak and Una here.
Yeah, I don't have a smartphone. I just have a...
You're listening to podcasts on a rock tied to a block of wood.
Yeah.
Which runs Winamp quite effectively still, so
Yeah.
I mean...
Yes.
It does.
Yeah.
You just have to hook up the cans with string on them.
Yes.
Yeah, and hopefully this is recorded fine and everything will be good in editing, and hopefully I didn't catch too many of my coughs, because I think that happened last episode. Whoops.
Yay, technology.
New recording program, technical difficulties.
It happens.
So please join us next time when we cross the Rubicon with Crossing the Rubicon.
Oh, I remember reading that book. That was a good one.
Yeah, I think it's about Unicron's cousin, Rubicon.
I remember the Jeep Rubicon.
Oh yeah, Swindle turned into one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was
Oh,
a
and it's a
Robotech
treat. It's
book.
written by DC Fontana.
Yes.
Yes.
She wrote that one episode of Star Trek where Spock got high on spores and smacked Kirk around.
Okay, no.
It's also the episode in which Leonard Nimoy was menaced off-screen by Charles Bronson.
Oh.
Because I guess his love interest in that episode was played by Bronson's wife.
Oh.
So he was kind of lurking around, making sure that that green-blooded son of a bitch didn't get too handsy.
Yeah.
Because it turns out Charles Bronson kind of didn't act.
He just really
He was
was.
just Charles Bronson.
So wait, so you're telling me that the next episode won't involve Zentradi and Lin-Min May and Invid and things?
Wait, is Jack McKinney the same person as DC Fontana?
No, I don't think so. Jack McKinney is actually two different people who wrote the Robotech books.
Oh,
It's one
so-
of those people, Carl Masick.
However, J. Michael Bingham is DC Fontana.
Well, I mean, I guess it makes sense that two people would combine into one person to write Robotech, because Robotech was 3 shows combined into one show.
Yeah, so
Yes.
it made sense.
This is the best digression.
Note to self, make joke about short-lived AMC series Rubicon.
Well, it's just like, crossing the Rubicon, is that an Alexander the Great or something?
Caesar, Julius Caesar.
Oh, okay, I knew it was an emperor or something.
I'll explain this again in the episode, but there was, I guess I probably shouldn't explain now because we're still recording. So until next time, I'm Rob.
I'm Jen.
I'm Alex.
And I'm David, who's thinking about old books I read in high school. No, I didn't.
Yeah.
I was so excited when he showed up at the end of that episode.
Look up a guy named Mark Henry.
That sounds like a common name.
Okay, it seems fine,
He's a professional.
but there
He
might...
is also a one-time legitimate holder of the record of world's strongest man.
Oh, that guy is kingpin sized.
There might be one small technicality. Well,
Oh, no.
at least with Call Note, like when I would mute myself, it wouldn't record me like when I clear my throat.
Oh.
I think it did record me when it cleared my throat, so I might have to
Not great.
fudge with audio and be more careful from now on. Whoops.
Well, I mean, that's not bad though. That's if it didn't, it'd be better that it didn't. If it, at least it didn't not record you at all.
No,
You might have
but-
to switch to a hardware mute switch instead of the Skype mute switch.
yeah. Well, there is a hardware mute switch on my headphones, but it makes a loud click.
Oh.
And I'm not sure if that would actually work. I'll just have to take my headphones off when I clear my throat, because it's kind of loud sometimes. Let me go to the bathroom.
Yes. So please go on.
So you ready?
Yes.
Yes.
Welcome to Stasis Pod, the Technical Difficulties Podcast.
Yes.